Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing this evening, guys? I kind of feel like crap, but all if me I did, I could have never go to my bed and not come back come see you for the rest of the day. Only God know what me going through, but in spite of it all, I decided I must come here, come talk to my people. We only talked an hour this morning. I wasn't able to come back today as much as I wanted to. Lord of mercy. Nature held me hostage. So here I am now. We are going to talk. It is Thursday. Thursday. We are going to talk about if you think healthcare workers should date their patients. But you know, but it just seems to me like before we say anything else, Andrea, how are you doing, my love? Good to see you. Good to see you, Andrea. How are you doing, my love? I hope you had a great. I hope you had a great Thursday. I'm having a good day so far. Well, oh my God. And I am here we just gonna chat a little bit. Chat a little bit about whether or not. And we are gonna delve into like the double standards as it pertains to professionals and their clients. Because, you know, for example, if you are an attorney and you are dating your client, that could be reason for you to be excused from the case, because there will definitely be a conflict. Also, if you are a teacher and you are dating your student, that too could be considered as you, the teacher, stepping over bounds, going out of line to be dating your student, even if it is an adult situation. People could still look at it as being inappropriate. If you have your student in your class and your student is you're dating the student that is in your class, then that could bring about a lot of feelings, especially with the other students who would think that, you know, you are going to be curry favor, you're going to give the person you are dating a better grade, they're going to get more of your attention and all of that. So those circumstances usually come about bringing their own baggage with them, if you will. And also when it comes on to healthcare, I see people date their patient, but I would never do that. I couldn't do that. No, I date my patient. Patient come in the hospital already sick. What me I do with you? Joseph, what? Joseph, what's up? If Joseph I'm a patient, that's a different story. Good, Joseph. You know, say me see you right. Good night, lovely people. I me swear say you right. Good night, lonely people. Joseph, me not alright. Me could have swear. Say you right. Good night, lonely people. I must see loneliness upon my mind. Loneliness upon my mind, cause lonely I am never. Yeah, me never lonely. Me just feel like say I could have one business that keep bringing in money and I never have to leave the house. Like I would have just stay in this house and never leave. You understand? If me have another way you understand, to keep my my bank account afloat and I can pay my bills. Trust me, I can't sleep here, so I can't eat there, so I can be there, so I can go do whatever I want. So lonely, I never am, ma'am. But I don't know why. I saw what you wrote that says, "Good night, lovely people," in the chat. And for some reason, I read lonely. Forgive me, Joe. Please forgive me. But welcome into the live, guys. Come on in and let us chat. And guys, I don't know where these people be sharing my lives or be sharing my videos. Can you believe it? YouTube sent me something that I had, what, 72 shares? I'm like, what? 72 shares? Where they share them at? Because I ain't seen them nowhere across social media. So I don't know where they share them at. But YouTube said they be sharing them. Well, thanks to y'all, those of you who've been sharing them. I mean, I looked today on my Trevessence. My Trevessence had 2.6 million views. I said, what? The hashtag Trevessence had 2.7 million views. I said, wow. Go ahead. Guys, you're doing great. You're doing great. Y'all doing great for me. I gotta do better for y'all. Yeah. God says, let me cough. Let me see what God said. God said, he could have been there by divine appointment, especially if you only go to work and home. Watch yourself, God. What you say? What in the world are you saying, sis? By divine appointment? Well, if you have a divine appointment, it's got to be to see the doctor to help him live 2 days longer, but it's definitely not for me. Joseph say, you have to tell lie about you. Joseph, me not lonely. I am not lonely, no. Sometimes I'm alone. Oftentimes I'm alone, but me never lonely. I come online, I talk to you all. I come online, I chat with you all. I get a book, I read a book. I'm loneliness. No, sir. Not at all. Not at all. All I need is to be able to get up and make me some food and sit right here, read a book, lay down when I'm ready, do my laundry. If I need to go on the street, I go. I am able to keep my lights on, my water on, and a roof over my head. I'll be just fine. I'll be just fine. Never lonely. Never. I'd love company sometimes, but not for too long. I think I've gotten so accustomed to being alone. I've gotten so used to it. I really can't function around anybody for too long. Around too many people for too long. Especially if you're not family. I mean, family I can tolerate. I can tolerate for periods of time, But I'm not lonely. No, I'm not lonely. Me rooster foot. I almost caused a problem right there. Yes, I'm not lonely. So anyway, guys, we are talking here. We are talking about whether or not you think healthcare professionals. Then you not have no choice, Joseph. You're not have to take my word for it. Take my word for it, Jojo. Oh, why don't come keep me company? I would go crazy. Trust me. I would go. I could be in somebody's company, but as long as I have my space, cause sometimes me not the house, me really would I like it. Like when my daughter there, sometimes I call her all the time. She be like, Mom, what is it? I just call her just because she's here, just because I know she's here, I call her. Just to hear another voice answer to me. I really don't want her. I don't want anything. I'm not calling her for any particular reason. But just to know that there is somebody else in here. But other than that, me cool. Me fine. Yeah. Me pew pew if you try to come in uninvited. So therefore, me alright. Right guys? Alright. What I mean by where say you're right about that. We have we to run to exactly, Joseph. Exactly. Me have enough to run to and cry to. So what should I worry about? What can she say? Don't worry that, Joseph. When you're scared, don't leave to the roof of our mount. You will know. God, go and be a listen. Go and leave me alone. Okay? When you see our tongue leave the roof of our mouth, then you will know you're so wrong. You are so wrong. I cannot with you. I cannot. I cannot with you. But anywho, guys, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. We're gonna talk about all things thirsty. Cause me know say somehow not very well thirsty on the Thursday here. I mean, unlike me. Some people are very thirsty in the Thursday. Guys, don't forget when you come and take the like button. Come in, I'm not afraid of the like button. So I want the like button do too, no. Please hit the like button and continue to share out the live streams, guys. And invite more people to come into the live. We know we are at 5,600 and I'm excited. Thank you all very, very much. Because by myself, I couldn't do a thing. If it wasn't for you all who come into the live and stuff, I wouldn't be able to do a thing. But I still stay here all lonely and everything else. We don't know what I mean. So we will. Oh, I so thank you, my love, Andrea. I so thank you. I don't know how me appreciate you. Me appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Trust me, I really, really do. Huh? It just play my game that I love to play. Eh? What kind of game that, Joseph? The cat and mouse. Who are the cat? You are the cat? Am I the mouse? Or me are the cat and you are the mouse? Which one, Joseph? Oh gosh. So tonight now we are talking about whether or not you think healthcare professionals should date their patients. Come on, tell me what y'all think. I have um I have heard and I have seen, I mean, people who have dated their patients, married them patient. Um I remember there was a story not too long ago about this nurse. She had a patient. The patient was on dialysis. We are play Tom and Jerry. Hey, Josie, you're something else. I remember there was this nurse who had married. It has happened several times. Nurses marry their patients. Doctors marry their patients. Other healthcare professionals, therapists marry their patients. Lots of it. And there was a story earlier this year, and I think I have found this story. I'm gonna read the story. I'm gonna read the story for you all. And it says, dialysis nurse marries her patient after donating a kidney. Emily McIntyre recently met the love of her life after donating one of her kidneys. She got in touch with the transplant patient after the operation, and now the two are planning to get married. McIntyre is a nurse who works with patients on dialysis. They usually suffer from kidney problems and need to be hooked up to a machine at home 3 to 7 times a week for at least 2 hours. She said the process can be grueling. It is her job to teach them how to run the treatment, which can take months. One of her first patients was a man in his 60s with so many plans for the future, but he didn't get to live them because he died of kidney disease a short while later. But that inspired McIntyre to donate one of her kidneys to someone in need. I started focusing on my own health, getting into shape while considering a major surgery. Then, a few years after my first patient died, I started caring for Jeff. We bonded over the fact that he was scared of needles, which is not great for a dialysis patient. At one point, he had a living donor. When that fell through, I saw how devastated he was. That's when she decided to donate her kidney to Jeff. But she talked to her employer first to make sure there was no conflict of interest because he was her patient. When they gave me the okay, I contacted Jeff's transplant team. I passed all the physical tests and was even a blood and tissue match for Jeff. Meanwhile, he had no idea I was the donating person. He was just told an anonymous donor had come forward. I wanted to do this whole thing with as little fuss as possible. But the operation hit a snag at the last minute. The doctor was worried that Jeff was too large for McIntyre's kidneys, so they decided to find a peer donation instead. This is when two donors agreed to give their organs to the other person's intended recipient, so both patients can find a good match. McIntyre's kidney went to someone on the National Organ Transplant List, which currently has some 100,000 people on it. She later found out it went to a 21-year-old with lupus. Meanwhile, another donor gave their kidney to Jeff. Even after the surgery, Jeff didn't know I had donated, she said, but the kidney doctor I worked under urged me to share my story. When the hospital asked if we'd be interested in meeting, I said yes, and so did Jeff. They arranged to have Jeff meet with the kidney donor over Zoom, but he was shocked to see McIntyre on the screen. It took him a few seconds to figure out that she was the one who had donated her kidney so that he could get someone else's. But that was only the beginning of their relationship. That was the last time Jeff and I were speechless around each other. After that Zoom call, we met for coffee, and we hadn't stopped talking since. McIntyre said, We hiked together often, something Jeff loves but wasn't able to do when he was in kidney failure. About 15 months after the transplant, we got engaged. We are getting married in October. She said her story may sound like a romantic comedy on Netflix, but that anyone can donate an organ to someone in need if they meet the right criteria. She added that she would like to see more people donating kidneys. But the sacrifice took a toll on her finances. She was out of work for 5 weeks after the operation. I was on short-term disability and had to pay for my own benefit costs for those weeks. Family helped me get through. Now, I work for Strive Health, a kidney care provider that tries to reach people before they need dialysis. Strive gives all employees 8 weeks of paid leave if they become a living donor. That would have been a game changer for me, and more policies like these could save lives by making donations easier. Wow. Wow. That's a nurse who donated her kidney to a guy whom she later married. Oh! Oh my, I was at Ricky. Ricky, what's up? How are you doing, my love? Good to see you. I'm glad you're here, Trevor. I was a little bit bored. Thank you. Oh, you are so welcome, my darling. You are welcome, my love. I'm always here. Only God know what I've been going through today, believe me. I'm still going through it, but for some reason, I just feel like I had to be here. And while I'm talking to you all, it's not too bad because I'm so excited to see y'all, but I'm still feeling the pangs of it. But we're going to ignore it while we spend time together. All right. Sister Arlise is here. Hey, Arlie, how are you doing, my love? Watch Ricky with him nice, clean self now. Watch Ricky with him nice, clean self now. Ricky, what's up? How are you doing, my love? How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see me. Excited to see you now. When I see y'all come, I get so. Ricky, I'm gonna see you go live. You have been live? Arlise, when you go to the next live? I must say Christmas are coming on. We should to start from October vlogging, to go vlogging every day until Christmas come. Yeah. I still vlog every day because every day I do my Bible reading. So if there is no other vlogging for the day, if I don't do anything else for the day, I do that because, that gives my day a great start. I mean, this morning I was confused as ever. This morning, guys, what the Bible did I say this morning? My Lord, help my soul. But so the Bible give us some periods of utter confusion. Trust me. Because me not understand how the Bible are going to say Isaiah walk around boy, but can you do it every day until Christmas, Trev? Do which one? The Bible or do one of this every day? I can't promise you every day, brother. I can't promise you the Bible every morning. I can promise you the Bible every morning. That me can keep up with. But me don't know about the another live chat. Especially when I work the night shift. Like when me off now, like tomorrow morning I'll do a live, but then tomorrow night, no, me I got to work tomorrow night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday me tired as a goose. But we will do what we can. We will do what we can. That's what we will do. Right, guys? And with your help and your support, I will try to be here. I will try to be here for you all. I'm still confused. Exactly. All right. You are not alone. I am here with you. Let me tell you, this morning we read the Bible. We were in the book of Isaiah chapter, I think 17 through 20. And trust me, I saw anything you are do. Yes, Joe. Anything for you, my love. Anything for you, my lovely Jojo. Oh, anything for you. Yeah. We'll try our best. Don't worry yourself, Joseph. You know where to reach me every day, anytime of day. You know where to reach me. You know how to find me. Yeah, everybody here so by now supposed to know how to find me. If you can't find me upon one number, you can't find me upon another. If you can't find me on one social media, you can find me on another. Right, Arlise? Yeah, this morning, me not know the Bible this morning. Me not know. The Bible just brought me into a space this morning. Guys, we are talking about Thursday, but so when we come to talk on live, we don't ignore any topic or anything that comes up. We talk about it nonetheless. So the Bible this morning was very confusing, to say the least. You understand? Watch a Ricky say me turn sing. Me a sing a long time, Ricky. What do you? Upon all time, me born and grow, you know. Sure. Andrea said love is a beautiful thing when you find love, being in love and staying in love. You know, so that is so true, Andrea. Love is a beautiful thing if you can find it. But and all that we can't find it, my love. I don't know. I have found love. Love doesn't have to be romantic. Let me just, because some people believe that when they talk about love, love has to be romantic. It don't have to be romantic. I know of persons who genuinely love me. And there are people in this world who I genuinely love. Love to the bottom of my heart. People who could call me any minute and say, Trev, you know, XYZ, so and so and so and so. And if I can't be there physically, I'll be there some way, somehow. People I've known for a lifetime, people I've known for short periods of time, people who I've met halfway through my life. You understand? There are people like that. There are some people who it's not just spirit tech, it's people where me genuinely love. Yeah. Alberto, ¿cómo está Alberto? ¿Cómo está mi amor? Buenas tardes. Oh, buenas noches. Oh, yeah. Buenas noches, mi amor. Me have more love than you can. Actually, no, Joseph. You know, say actually, me have more love than me can manage for true. And love is such a beautiful thing. Love is such a beautiful thing. I love love. Because when you love somebody, you have them in such high esteem. You have such pureness of your thoughts when you think about that person. You understand? Because by interacting with the person, you get a fair understanding of what this person's mindset is. Is this person a person with a carnal mind based on the things they say and the things they enjoy? Is this person of a pure heart based on the way they think about others and the way they think about you? You understand? And there are different things that will draw you to loving somebody. Everybody isn't going to love you. Don't forget that. Everybody isn't going to love you. Not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And that is perfectly fine. Because when you go out of your way to be everybody's cup of tea, the tea end up burning you. Yeah? What are you going to do with all this up? It will stifle if you don't. God, leave me alone. Ain't I giving it to you? I'm giving it to you, to Joe, to Ricky, Andrea, Letitia, M&G, Yard Foods, AG, Arelis, David. All I know, may I give whole heap of love to. You understand? Our Overton there. Overton, Delia, Anna, Miss Priceless, The Farm, all I know, Fly Girl Georgia, Unstoppable and Wild Rich and all the Unstoppable crew. What you mean? But you're not easy. You're not easy. Yeah. Me I already love my after, oh no. You see me? You saw me mean Ricky. Ricky said I'm not doing a live. I mean I know what happened to me when I'm not doing a live, you know. Come here, say me not see Ricky doing a live. How is Mike there? Mike, where are you? Me I go to when it comes to love. So me need yeah. You are one guy got when it comes on to love, so you need enough. Lord have mercy. Yeah, who doesn't like to be loved? Love is such a beautiful thing. Think about all the only like romantic love I can relate to is like when you first enter into what you consider to be a real relationship. If you know what I mean. When you first enter into that relationship that you consider to be a real relationship. I've I've only maybe had two of those in my lifetime. You understand? Yeah, where you feel that euphoria, you just feel that ecstasy. Yeah, that may have been, that's a feeling of love. Later on, you realize, say, it's not that the original feeling wasn't real. It's just that as time went on and things changed, it didn't work out. Yeah, you always know someone love you. They don't have to. Joseph, me say me love you. You see that statement? That is the truth. When someone love you, you don't even have to. They don't even have to tell you. Yeah. Yes, God. You see, you make me interpret it for you, Ricky Wanga God. Yeah, me know. Me know say I must that you didn't want to say. Me know say I must that you didn't want to say. Yes, God. God say when you love someone, you want to push that person to their highest good to be the best person that they can be. Period. Exactly. End of story. Exactly. Yes. You want the best for that person. You don't want to think negative of that person. You don't want to think ugly of that person. I mean, if that person has proven to you that they are, let me see which word I want to use. If they are proven to you that their mindset is warped somewhat and they are capable of any kind of atrocity, then you would want to talk to them. Then you would want to talk to them um, peacefully. You would want to find out what is going on. You want to approach it with love. You don't want to approach it in such a fashion that it's going to cause bad feelings between the two of you. You don't want to do that. When there is love, there is peace. Andrea said, back to the Bible reading this morning of confusion and suffering. God said that's a pure, unadulterated love. Exactly. Andrea said, back to the Bible reading. You know, say, you're right, Andrea. You see how many things we are incorporating at this one live here, so guys. We was talking about whether you think a doctor or a nurse, healthcare professional is supposed to marry to them patient. And we gone back to the Bible where Isaiah was walking around boy but fitch. How long, God? 3 years? How long? How long God did make Isaiah? I can't believe this in the Bible, people. How long God did make Isaiah walk around boy but with the Verse 3 of Isaiah chapter 20 said, and the Lord said, like as my servant Isaiah hath walked naked and barefooted 3 years for a sign and wonder upon Egypt and upon Ethiopia. 3 I can't in the Bible. Believe me, I cannot. So the Lord deliberately make Isaiah walk around naked. Deliberately make him walk around naked. So what was up with Isaiah where Isaiah couldn't put on clothes? Then Isaiah walk around naked in front of the people them and the people them pitting them and everything. Really? No, sir. Some parts in the Bible, I don't know if I true them something here. God no. I don't know if I true. So it says, so shall the king of Assyria lead away the Egyptian prisoners and the Ethiopian captives, young and old, naked and barefoot, even with their buttocks uncovered, to the shame of Egypt. Andrea, I gotta be tiff to one mad. He gotta. He had to have been tiff to one mad to be walking around. I know, say, at first me I hear this in the Bible. At first me I see it, you know. At first, me I see it. I never know say this was in the Bible at all. Me know say maybe people like Cad and the others of you maybe didn't know say it in the Bible, but I was not aware that that the Lord did make Isaiah walk around naked. He said naked with their buttocks uncovered. So them want to make sure so you understand. So when them say naked, them no mean so them have on like little cloth or what they used to make you see with them have one in the pictures, have the little cloth to cover up their privacy. Yes. Well, apparently the Bible wanted to make us aware that that little cloth was absent. He said even with their buttocks out. So if them buttocks out, that means say the whole of them out. Them must have one little leaf to cover their front, man. No, sir. You can't tell me say the Lord really bring them to that kind of disgrace. They must have one little, little piece, a little piece of leaf, type on a piece of string, and the string go around their waist, and then the leaf cover up them front. Me don't know. That must have been. Me can't believe say have them. He could have them really just stark naked so. But that not sound right. Yeah, G. That not sound right. But that part and the rest of it was confusing because until now, I never hear the Bible say the Israeli God had called the Egyptians to serve him. So this was very scary. I mean, very, very strange. In that day shall Egypt be like unto woman, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. Them never worship him. So I don't understand. How would he just gone over there to go shake and create a ruckus and whatever? The Bible didn't say nothing about no leaf. I mean, just a say it. I mean, just a say it, God. So there must be a leaf. There must be a leaf covering them front. They could just walk around so, God. I not believe them in just a walk around so. But since the Bible say it, me have to go by it what the Bible say because I wasn't there. I wasn't born in that era. Not at all, Sister God. I wasn't born in that era at all. So God have mercy. But on a serious note, guys, the Bible does give us our fair measure of confusion. I'm going around and searching and reading and trying to find other literature. Trying to find some other literature that will help us to understand our readings even a little better. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. Because that sweets. Sweets, is that you, my love? How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. What's going on with you up in the Canada there? What's going on with you? You was not around in that time, so you don't know. So you have to go. Exactly, Joe. Exactly. Let me see if what's his name can explain this some. He always have some nice explanation. Let me see. Let me see videos. Nothing I wanted from him. There is this guy. I was looking for him today. It's not the Bible says. I was looking for him today because he always. I think this is him.
Book of the prophet Isaiah.
Yes.
Isaiah lived in Jerusalem in the latter half of Israel's kingdom period, and he spoke on God's behalf to the leaders of Jerusalem and Judah. He spoke, first of all, a message of God's judgment. He warned Israel's corrupt leaders that their rebellion against their covenant with God would come at a cost, that God was going to use the great empires of Assyria and after them Babylon to judge Jerusalem if they persisted in idolatry and oppression of the poor. But that announcement was combined with a message of hope. Isaiah believed deeply that God would one day fulfill all of his covenant promises, that he would send a king from David's line to establish God's kingdom, remember 2 Samuel 7, that he would lead Israel in obedience to all of the laws of the covenant made at Mount Sinai, remember Exodus chapter 19. And all of this was so that God's blessing and salvation would flow outward to all of the nations, like God promised to Abraham in Genesis chapter 12. And it's this hope that compelled Isaiah to speak out against the corruption and idolatry of Israel in his day. Now, the book has a pretty complex literary design, but there's one simple way to see how it all fits together. Chapters 1 through 39 contain 3 large sections that develop Isaiah's warning of judgment on Israel. And it all culminates in an event pointed to at the end of chapter 39, the fall of Jerusalem and the exile of the people to Babylon. But in chapters 1 to 39, there's also a message of hope that after the exile, God's covenant promises would all be fulfilled. And chapters 40 to 66 pick up that promise of hope and develops it further. In this video, we're just going to focus on chapters 1 to 39. The first main section focuses on Isaiah's vision of judgment and hope for Jerusalem, and it begins as Isaiah accuses the city's leaders of covenant rebellion, idolatry, injustice, and God says he's going to judge the city by sending the nations to conquer Israel. Isaiah says that this will be like a purifying fire that burns away all that's worthless in Israel in order to create a new Jerusalem that's populated by a remnant that has repented and turned back to God. And Isaiah says that that's when God's kingdom will come and all nations will come to the temple in Jerusalem and learn of God's justice, bringing about an age of universal peace and harmony. Now, it's this basic storyline of the old Jerusalem purifying judgment into the new Jerusalem. This is going to get repeated over and over throughout the book, getting filled in with increasing detail. So, at the center of this section is Isaiah's grand vision of God sitting on his throne in the temple. And he's surrounded by these heavenly creatures that are shouting that God is holy, holy, holy. And Isaiah suddenly realizes just how corrupt he and his people Israel are. And he's certain that he's going to be destroyed by God's holiness, but he's not. God's holiness, in the form of this burning coal, comes and burns him, but not to destroy. Rather, it purifies him from his sin. And as Isaiah ponders the strange experience, God commissions him with a very difficult task. He is to keep announcing this coming judgment. But because Israel has reached a point of no return, his warnings are going to have a paradoxical effect of hardening the people. But Isaiah is to trust God's plan. Israel is going to be chopped down like a tree and left like a stump in a field. And that stump will itself be scorched and burned. But after all of that burning, God says that this smoldering stump is a holy seed that will survive into the future. It's a small sign of hope, but who or what is that holy seed? The rest of this section offers an answer. Isaiah confronts Ahaz, a descendant of David and a king of Jerusalem, and he announces his downfall. God says that it's the great empire of Assyria who will first chop Israel down and devastate the land, but there's hope. Because of God's promise to David, he's going to send after this destruction a new king named Emmanuel, which means God with us. And Emmanuel's kingdom is going to set God's people free from violent, oppressive empires. And Isaiah describes this coming king as a small shoot of new growth that will emerge from the old stump of David's family. It's this king that's the holy seed from chapter 6. And the king is going to be empowered by God's Spirit to rule over a new Jerusalem and bring justice for the poor, and all nations will look to this messianic king for guidance. His kingdom will transform all creation, bringing peace. Now, you finish chapters 1 through 12 with a pretty good understanding of Isaiah's message of judgment and hope. But when will this all happen? Isaiah saw another empire arising after Assyria, and that's Babylon, who would also attack Jerusalem and actually succeed in destroying it. And that brings us into the next sections of the book. So first, we have a large collection of poems that explore God's judgment and hope for the nations. We learn, first of all, of the fall of Babylon and Israel's neighbors. Isaiah could see that Assyria's world power would one day be replaced by the empire of Babylon, a nation even more destructive and arrogant. And Babylon's kings claimed that they were higher than all other gods, and so God vows to bring Babylon down. And not only Babylon. Isaiah goes on to list Israel's neighbors, accusing them all of the same kind of pride and injustice, and he predicts their ultimate ruin. But remember, for Isaiah, God's judgment is never the final word for Israel or the nations. And that leads into the next section with a series of poems that tell a tale of two cities. There's the lofty city that has exalted itself above God and become corrupt and unjust. This city is an archetype of rebellious humanity and is described with language that's all borrowed from Isaiah's earlier descriptions of Jerusalem and Assyria and Babylon, all put together. This city is destined for ruin.
All right, so that is enough now. We hear about it. Let me see who is in the chat, what's going on in the chat. Carly's everywhere here about the people are naked and afraid. Well, I guess people are, I guess they're walking around just like the people are naked and afraid. Well, sweet. Has anyone heard about the Balfour Declaration? Well, sweet, yes, the Balfour Declaration was written in 1917. When Arthur Balfour, the foreign minister in England, he wrote to the Queen and asked for the establishment of a Jewish state. And that sort of triggered off the planning process for a Jewish state to be established. And that stayed in Parliament in England. They discussed it repeatedly. Whoa, thank you. They discussed it in the Parliament in England for years and years and years. And it wasn't until 1948 that the United Nations got together and decided that, well, finally, yes, we are going to establish a Jewish state. And that is because, you know, from the Bible, they all believe that there had to be a Jewish state because, you know, the God that is in the Bible is a Jewish God. And there wasn't a Jewish state at the time because, remember, over the years, the Jews had been persecuted left and right. They had lost their authority in that region. They had gone asunder, gone all over the place. And the temples were broken down. Jerusalem was in ruins. And so Plumber is in the place. How are you, Plumber? Blessed up in us to himself, my love. And so you see, sweet, because of that, and because there is this pervasive belief that this Jewish God is the one true and living God, and the God that is supposed to be supreme over everybody and every religion and everything on this earth. They believe that we were not we were doing him as a people, we were doing him a great disservice for not having a place established, his place, considering the Bible talked about how his existence when he was on earth, his existence down there in Jerusalem. But by then there wasn't any Jews occupying Jerusalem, very few. The place was mostly the Arabs down there, and they vowed to make a change to that. And so after Balfour wrote that letter, and they started to look at it and say, well, their true and living God needed a place to dwell. And so since they believe that their God is supposed to return to earth one day, and he can only return if the circumstances are right, and that everybody on every corner of the earth would have to hear about him already, and the preachings of the gospel and all of this stuff. They believe that, well, it was the right thing to do to reestablish a Jewish kingdom in the Middle East. And that's how they went down. England was in charge. England was in charge of reestablishing, was in charge of Palestine and all of that right there. England was the country that was given charge down there. And in 1948, I think it was May 14th of 1948, it was declared by the United Nations that the state of Israel will be established, and Palestine would be cut in two. Not necessarily half, because that's definitely not a half, but it would be cut in two, and the larger portion of it went to establish the Jewish state of Israel, and the other part of it, a lot of the Arabs ran off to Egypt, Lebanon, Damascus, all over, and others were pushed to occupy the Gaza region, which is one little tiny region there. They were pushed into that little space right there, and so that's how it has been, and the war has never ended since. The war has sometimes calmed down, but I think it calmed down just for regrouping. But they always come back dropping bombs and booby traps and all of this. It's never gonna end. Sweet says Jewish is right, but not Zionist structural state. Well, the thing is, the Zionists are supporters of the establishment of a Jewish state. So if you are in agreement, if you are a supporter of the establishment of a Jewish state, then you can be considered to be a Zionist. And as for me, I don't see where anything was wrong with establishing a Jewish state. I just think they didn't go about it the proper way. I don't think that you can just go force somebody and cut their land and just force them, to accept it, knowing that historically these people never wanted the Jews to be reestablished in the region in the first place. But where else were they going to establish the Jewish state when the Ark of the Covenant was already placed in Jerusalem? And when it was placed there back in the days of David, of Solomon, back then, they said, their God said, that's where it's going to be forever and ever, amen. So there wasn't going to be any place else on earth that would be suitable for the Jews but the place where their Ark of the Covenant of their God was placed. But because the Arabs had already been successful in driving out the Jews and assuming authority of all that land, they didn't want them back. You all ain't coming back down here. So I don't care whether or not your Ark of the Covenant is right here. You're not coming back. That was their stance. All right, Palestine and Israel is a holy land for Christians, Jews, and Muslims, in my opinion. Well, I don't know. I can't. Everybody has their own holiness, their deities, and their holy symbols, and everybody's going to believe that down there, somewhere in the Middle East, is where their religion. Plumber say all you have for me is love. Thank you, Plumber. You make me feel so special. Sweet says, I'm from Lebanon. The war in the Middle East is never ending. I tell you, Sweet, that's the same thing I said. I said it's never going to end. It is never going to end, because the only way it would end, I believe, is if for some reason, Israel say, well, you know what, we're going to give this up and we are going to go find someplace else and establish Israel. But that wouldn't be a thing either. Because remember, they are following the ark of their covenant. They are not willing to change its location. They are not willing to change its location because that's where they said their God said it should be. So that is where it is. And it is around there that they are going to consider to be the holiest place. Right where their Ark of the Covenant is. You get me? Sister Winsome, how you doing? I was talking to my parents last night. They're visiting. And you can hear bombs like crazy. I can just imagine, my love. I can just imagine. You know, there are bombs. I don't know. Oh boy, if you were living there and you had to live there, then you would have no choice. But my Lord, man, these kids are born with it just seems like their norm. It's like death to them is nothing, because every day they wake up thinking it could be me next. You're right, that happens. It's happened to Lebanon, lands they occupied, our land, even a part of my village, until someone stood up and fought them out. Oh. God says not there. The Ark of the Covenant may not be there, but I guess they are not gonna give it. They're gonna say, well, you're not a supporter, you're a lover. Plumber, behave yourself. Behave yourself. Are you not a supporter of the war or whatever? Nobody support war. I do not support war. I be all for a quick resolution to the issue. But if you know the origins of the issue, you will understand why it's never going to end. It is never going to end. And if when they were trying to establish the Jewish state, they had put a little bit more thought in it, rather than this brute force cutting into the Palestinians' land, then maybe there wouldn't be all this war. But guess what? It was meant to happen. I support and acknowledge three religions: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, people of the scriptures. But in the end, true religion is the commandments. Well, I don't know. Honestly, Sweet, I don't know which religion is true and which is not. To be honest with you, I do not know which religion is true and which is not. Every religion say they are true. So all I gotta say to people is live good. Live good. Live your life on your terms. Because as far as I can see, it's only one life to live. But anyway, look how we are talking about one thing and we end up talking about one whole heap of different things. What, the Ark of the Covenant is not there today? Yes, God, that's what I was saying. But you see, the Arabs have no problem with Israel. Just this strip they occupy and lands they claim to occupy. Sometimes being fair with what we can get is better than being greedy and push for more. You got a great point. You got a great point. Why wasn't this war of territories corrected after the crucifixion and the resurrection, or even the Great Flood? The Great Flood as in the Noah flood? You talk about the Noah flood? Because during the Noah flood, the children of Israel come about after the Noah flood. Not true, God? But what I think, Andrea, when you talk about that, you know what I think? If the the children of Israel, if their God said to them, I'm gonna take you to a land that I have prepared for you. How come I have not, all I am reading the Bible, I don't see them get that land yet that was prepared for them. Because if the land was prepared for them, then there should be nobody there. But all I have seen since they exited out of the wilderness is land that was occupied by people, and all I have seen is them slaying people and taking over these lands. That's all I have seen. When they come out of the wilderness, they go across the river Jordan into Jericho, they go to Ai, they go to all these other little countries. All I've seen them do is slay the occupants and take the land. Now, if their God said that this land he had prepared for them, he's going to take them to that land, where was that land? That should be an empty space where nobody is occupying it. So they would just go and set up camp. And I think that at that time in history, they could find lands to go and set up camp, which I think they should have done. Go find some empty land, some empty wilderness. Cut down the tree them or whatever you got to do and establish your society there. They didn't do that. All I'm reading about is them slaughtering people and taking what the people had already established. Plumber said there's no future. I mean, Sweet says every experience in war is scary, but when we are on your land, but when you are on your land, you will stand your ground through sweat and blood. People don't put hard work to live and just die like that. Well, that's one way to look at it. It becomes obvious in the first minute of Babylon that we are not in the real world. Instead, we are in a bizarre, over-the-top fantasy land, are we? Plumber, how will you drink today? How will you eat today? But aren't all devoted and good humans the children of Israel? It is a holy land of Christians, Jews, and Muslims. So who is the children of Israel or the Israelites? So you see, when we've been reading the Bible, and clearly the Bible specifies who are the children of Israel. Remember, when they were gathering up the people to come re-establish Jerusalem after it had been broken down, it said, you must come, and when you come, when the people had brought back the people from Babylon to come re-establish Jerusalem, and they were telling the men that they should leave the Babylonian wives and children behind and come to re-establish Jerusalem. It said you must come and state your lineage. How are you a child of Israel? You have to come and say, well, you know, say, my grandmother Ida was, her grandmother name was Lena, and Lena was, Mas Joe was Lena's father. And remember, Mas Joe, you know, him was the son of Benjamin. He was Benjamin's great grandson, you know. So you had to come and explain how they would trace your lineage to determine whether or not you were a descendant of Jacob. And if you were not, you were not included. You were not to be included in the rebuilding of Jerusalem. These are not stuff that I am making up. This is in the Bible. The same Bible that y'all claim to read every day and claim to know. Why is it the Christians and Muslims still believe in Christ as the Messiah? Wasn't Jesus born in Bethlehem? Was that not a holy land too? So aren't Christians children of Israel? Well, that is a great question there, sweet. That is a great question. We have not yet reached. I have heard that there is additional information in the New Testament, but I'm playing devil's advocate. I am not speaking on the New Testament yet until I have gotten there and read it on the channel so that we can all go there together. Okay? But I have been told that in the New Testament, there is an inclusion clause for everybody. But so far, as I have been reading the Bible from Genesis, I'm now at the book of Isaiah. I have not, that's why this morning was so confusing to me, because in this morning's reading, it sounded like the God of Israel was now talking to the Egyptians and the Ethiopians, as though he was talking to the Jews. And that's why that got me confused, because all along I've been reading the Bible, all I have heard is the children of Israel being spoken to by their God. And the rules and the laws that have been laid down for them. Okay? So we will wait until we get there. We talk about the birth of the Messiah and all those things that are written in the New Testament. But I ain't gotten there yet. So I'm going to say I don't know. But does it claim or state only Jews or children of Israel? The thing is, sweets, I'm glad you asked that question, because going off of what I have read in the Bible, yes, Adam and Eve created, the Bible says Adam and Eve was the first man and woman, and that all the children, their children, all of us are descendants of Adam and Eve. But I have great questions about that, because I have been reading the Bible, and when they said that Adam and Eve had many sons and many daughters, Cain killed Abel, and then Cain was banished from the garden, and he went away and he married somebody somewhere and have his kids. Now, when I read that in the Bible, that tells me that there is something missing. Adam and Eve were definitely not the only two people on earth. So who did Cain go marry? Definitely Cain went and married somebody. And it wasn't somebody in the Garden of Eden. All right? So that right there is a complicated statement. Then we read on about the flood with Noah. Only 8 people were saved. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their 3 wives. So that means that the entire earth was, everybody drowned and left only those 8 people. So then we would have to say now that we are descendants of those Shem and Japheth, Noah's sons, right? Well, that went on. Jacob and Esau. And that's why I tell you, so there's so many questions in the Bible and not enough answers. Because then from Noah and his wife having their 3 children and them being saved by the flood, their generations went down. Jacob and Esau. Jacob was the one whose generation went down to Egypt. Esau went to Edom, There were people over there. He went and he established his own generation over there in Edom. Jacob went down to Egypt, him and his tribe. Jacob and his 12 sons and his daughter and all of them. So the children of Israel were the people who were following Moses, and those were the descendants of Jacob. They were the descendants of Jacob. And I don't understand how there were people all over the world. There were other people in the world. Yet there are these laws that this single group of people claim to have been given to them. And all of a sudden, these particular laws end up being the blueprint for the rest of the world. However, when the Bible is talking, it ain't talking to the rest of the world. It calls the rest of the world infidels and enemies. And me says so at the Bible. It refers to them as infidels and the enemies. And if they are not Jews, this is when the Bible taught. The Bible said, "Woe be unto those who call themselves Jews but are not." It talks about the Arabs and the Syrians and everybody else around. Those were considered to be enemies of the Jews. And all these laws that are written in the Bible, these laws and commandments and stuff were written for the Jews. The other people were living their lives. There wasn't anything that says, call the rest of the world, bring them in, let them follow these laws as well. That's not what it said. It said these laws were for this particular group, and the others were their enemies. And this is supposed to teach them how to deal with their enemies. Yeah. Exactly, sweet. I miss you this morning. So you're a thing, Joseph. Hey. Sweet says the drift happened through Cain and Abel. There was a drift between Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel, and then Cain was thrown out of the garden, and Cain went off to go marry somebody in a faraway land. They never the same marry one animal or something. He married a woman in a faraway land. So there were other people. There were other people out there. And that's one thing that I think the people who compiled these stories that they put in the Bible never stopped to think about, that people were going to ask questions. He married a jinn. What's a jinn? What's a jinn? I'm going to make me a thirsty Thursday. I'm coming to talk about, we gone into the Bible. What was it? Joseph, yeah, you did miss it this morning. This morning was really something else, me tell you. Well, I was confused this morning. But I hope that when tomorrow morning come, when we read from 22, tomorrow morning we are going to read from 22. We're not going to read Wally tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning we read from 22 to 25. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to read from 22 to 25, and I hope that that will help give us some clarity. But this morning was one hell of a something, I tell you. Confuse me, Lord Jesus, help my soul. Yeah. So the laws that were given to the children of Israel were not the same laws that were given to the rest of the world. Because remember, the Bible said that the people were serving their Balaam, and they were serving their gods. And the God of the children of Israel didn't say to them, bring those people over here, let them serve me. Uh, it didn't say that. It didn't say that. So if you want to say that we are, um, I say, are we children of Israel? Are we Jews following these laws, or at what point were we included in that conversation? Ever since that space, I tell you, they're all bad. I mean, that's something that we were reading about this morning. Andrea said maybe other planets are inhabitants. Well, who knows? Who knows? And were these people on these other planets able to have access to Earth? How did we go between planets? If so be the case, I don't know, my sister. I don't know, my love. I don't know. I don't know. Sweet say ever since all bad things were created, but even as we have been reading the Bible, we have read where it's like God created Satan. So God created the opposite entity of himself. Is it so that he could cause a lot of confusion? So that he would have an antagonizing force to prove himself that when he does something good, he has defeated that antagonizing force, yet he gives that antagonizing force the power to challenge him. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Because it's like, as we had said this morning, it's like making you sick so that I make you sick so that I can heal you, so I can get some praise and you can worship me and say I heal you. But I was the one that made you sick in the first place. I don't know. Egotistical, narcissistic. I don't know. I don't know. Much love and respect to humankind as we all bleed same and feel the same thing. I just wish we all could understand that, sweets. I wish we all could understand that we are all humans and what we are doing to each other is just unbelievable. It's cruel, it's unfathomable what we are doing to each other. I don't think the world really needs all this war and all this bloodshedding, and I don't think the world needs it. The world does not need all of this. And I think we can live better. We can live better amongst ourselves. We do not have to be so cold, calculating, and cruel towards each other. No, 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 no. You understand? No, no, no. I don't think so. Oh, where are my? Did I lose my headphones? You understand? We shouldn't have to. Oh, you. Sweet says she wish she was living in the biblical days. Oh Lord, but sweet, you see how we read the Bible in those biblical days. You see how much fighting and slaughterings went on, because from the moment the children of Israel come out of the wilderness, appear slaughtering. They slaughtered everybody from all the kingdoms and took away all the lands and everything. Me don't want to live in that the era. Me glad me never live in that era. Honestly speaking, me glad me not live in there. Yeah, me glad say me never live in that era there. Cause that era was, yes. To live and experience much understanding, then live and read to question. Because if we were living in that era, you'd have to decide, would you be living with like a Jew, or would you be living like an enemy of the Jews? Which would you prefer? Which would you prefer? I don't know. There was a lot of support if you were a Jew, and I think the other people had their own support system as well. It's just that they were different. And I say all the time, those people who were not Jews, who were not living by the laws that the Jews were living by, were those people going to hell? I don't get it. You understand? What's the deal with that? I don't know. I don't know. The Bible is very complicated, my friends. In Islam, the Bible came before the Torah. Yeah. Yes, what I mean, God. Yeah, like, what's going to happen to the souls of those people? Were they just nothing? I'm just saying this, because a lot of y'all believe in this heaven hell thing. So what's going to happen to the people? Because the Bible ain't talking to them yet. The Bible ain't talking to them. It's only talking to the children. Yeah, to be talking to the children of Israel. They got the scroll with the commandments. It was their commandments from their God. They weren't told to share it with the rest of the world. It was theirs to lead them to their salvation. There ain't no salvation for the other people. At least not from the Israeli God, not from the children of Israel's God. So, all right, Sweet says Christianity was first, then Judaism, then Islam. According to the Bible, I see Judaism as the initial religion. That's what I see according to what I have read in the Bible. Because it can't be Christianity, because Christianity came about with the birth of Christ. So Christianity sort of came about in the New Testament. Judaism is the religion that existed in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Yes, all of those, it's Judaism. Even in the Bible, it says, children of Israel, before the Torah, before, which means children of Israel mean of the holy book. It says children of Israel. Judaism did exist, was minority, but when Zionists appeared was when the prophecy of Christ was to come true. Well, that would have been in the New Testament. The Christianity would have been in the New Testament, because Christianity came off of Christ. Judaism came off of the Lamb of Judah, which is from Israel, which is from Jacob, from the line of Jacob. Yeah. So Judaism to me was first. Judaism is a religion that is mentioned in the beginning of the Bible. You know, so I am going off what I have found in the Bible. But there was no Israel when? There was no Israel when? When? Because as far as I have read so far, the children of Israel did establish themselves in the region during the time of David. They had a vast area over which David ruled. David ruled over a large area. David believed that the land was acquiring land would increase the wealth of the kingdom. And so David acquired a lot of land. And so Jews were spread out all over with lots and lots of rights and privileges. However, after David died, he handed over to Solomon. Solomon sort of maintained his father's ideology. But after Solomon's son, Rehoboam, and his son, Abijah, and the others that came afterwards, they were so young. They did not see the importance of holding on to the land and holding on to the rule of Israel. They didn't. So them sell out the land, them barter it out, them bargain it out, them give it away, them whatever, until they didn't realize it until it was too late. They had reduced the kingdom of Israel to a very tiny area right there in Jerusalem. A little area. Yeah. Just a small area. The people had moved away. They had gone. Married people move away. Remember when they were following the laws of Moses, they were not allowed to go marry anybody outside of somebody who is a descendant of the children of Israel. But now when the whole kingdom was being dismantled, they went away. They married Arabs, they married Syrians, they're gone about their business. They're not practicing the rules and the laws of Moses anymore. They are all over the place. Just a little bit of them were left right there in Jerusalem, trying to continue with the teachings of their God. Just a little bit of them. So when they established, when Israel now was re-established in the region in 1948, people who considered themselves Jews, who were in Germany and other parts of Europe, they hurried and went to go live in Jerusalem, because this would be the place where they would be free to practice their religion, and they would be free from persecution. Because remember, they say Hitler had slaughtered millions of them in Europe. And so they felt comfortable going down to Jerusalem. But also a lot of people who were not Jews or not descendants of Jacob found their way down there. The Bible says, woe be unto those who call themselves Jews but are not. All the Middle East, from Egypt to Saudi, is where everything happened in all the holy books. So any one of those lands could have been Israel. Well, I don't know about the geography of it as well, maybe as well as you do, but the Bible did talk specifically about Egypt. There are some countries that are mentioned specifically in the Bible. And over the years, I believe that some of the geographical markers have probably been moved over the years to give some countries bigger borders and give some countries smaller borders. I believe that may have happened over the years. But the Bible mentioned Egypt, the Bible mentioned Lebanon, the Bible mentioned Syria, and so people are free to say however they want, but I do not know. So what I know that the children of Israel used as their marker for their place was where the Ark of the Covenant stood, that there, right there, was Jerusalem. When did the Ark of the Covenant disappear? I wish I knew. I'll probably have to look that up, but I do not know that right off the top of my head. Did it disappear? Has it disappeared? What happened? But I know that over the years, the Arabs and the Syrians and all those people, they have continuously broken down the walls of Jerusalem in an effort to get rid of the Jews, and they had been successful in doing so. And then in 1948, with the help of the United Nations, Israel was reestablished after laying waste for hundreds and hundreds of years. What God said? God said Christianity was founded in Antioch after Christ's death in Acts chapter 11. Jesus Christ was not on the scene. I tell you, the future definitely is a mystery. Tell me about it, my sister. There's a mystery. It's mysterious. Yes, it gives us more than just a headache when you think about it. How do you decipher it? And a lot of people are so concerned about their soul and this heaven and hell, they stay preoccupied thinking about it and becomes more and more confused because they don't know, like, who should I follow? What should I do? This one say I'm gonna go to hell if I don't do this. This one say I'm gonna go to hell if I don't do that. So there is this whole hell of a confusion that's going on in the minds of people. And I said, I refuse to be a part of that confusion. I'm going to live my life until my last breath. And when my last breath, whatever happens after that happen, I'm not going to live my life worried about what's going to happen after I die. And so the future, we don't know. We don't know. Nature has done a great thing by not letting us be aware, not letting us know what the future holds. Because if we knew what the future holds, life would be so much different for us. Life would be so much different. For sure, exactly, my love. I say one life to live. And I say, I'm not going to live this one life being worried about whether I'm going to go to heaven, go to hell. Because all these people who are missing out on their life, talking about heaven and hell, they're going to see neither one. A lot of them going to see neither one. And the more I read the Bible, the more I just want to live and do whatever it is that is good and kind and peaceful. That's it. That's it. That's all I want to do. Well, Trev, you and everyone stay safe. It's always a pleasure having you, my love. Always an absolute pleasure. I hope you have yourself a great evening, my dear friend. A great rest of the evening. Have yourself a great night, my love. We will talk some other time. Hold on, the people. Okay, I'm back, guys. Here we are. Who else is here, guys? When are we going to talk about whether or not a nurse or a healthcare professional should marry their patient? Well, the one that I just read about just earlier in the beginning of the live, that one, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest with you. These are very nice, cozy, like heartwarming stories. But I don't think if I have a patient, I know my patient is ill. Why am I marry you? Why my patient? Like, I don't think I could. But God say Maybe you love coming in this guys. Me not think for me love her coming at this in that the guys they at all. I doubt it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. So anyway, gentle people, it is now almost 10 o'clock, and we have spent the better part of the early night together, and I am going to spend the rest of it with my youngin. So guys, we're gonna talk again in the morning, first thing in the morning, bright and early in the morning. Don't miss it. 5 o'clock in the morning we will be doing the morning reading. All right guys, that's going to be it from me for right now. Until next time, my dear friends, sweets, I appreciate you. You understand? Arlie says not the first time here. Oh yeah, I'm here all the time, Arlie. All the time where doctors and nurses and other healthcare professionals marry their patients. But hey. So y'all are AG and Arlie, Sweets, Joseph, Winsome, Cod, Andrea, Tisha, M and G, everybody else in the place, Yard Foods and all. Have on yourself a great, great, great night, and we will meet again first thing in the morning. Joseph, I have you unlocked, Jojo. All right, Plumber, I have you on lock. Have yourself a great night, guys, and I will see you all tomorrow. All right, guys, have yourselves a great night. See you all in the morning. Speak or forever hold your peace. What you say? Peace hour. Peace hour, yeah, all sis. Peace hour. Me say, mighty God. Mighty, and that never have nothing to do with the story. Nothing to do with the story at all. Turn into holy jihad to backside. Lord Jesus. Sweet. Sweet always have an opinion. I couldn't bother with her up on the live